to order at 6:33. All right, roll call. Heather, I am here. Sarah? Here. Nathan?
Here.
Miranda is absent. Norm?
Here.
Sally?
Here.
And Heidi is absent.
Yep.
Alright. Any amendments to the agenda?
You have two amendments to the agenda. One, we received the renewal notice from Certified Folder for your poster that you have at Multnomah Falls. That'll go under 8D for fall and winter advertising opportunities. And then under 8A, the discussion of the future structure of Cascade Box Tourism. I am going to take a few minutes to run through the draft of what I'm supposed to present next Monday for the joint session. And you've received an additional packet of the slides from that, so.
Okay. Any declarations of conflict of interest? Nope. Okay, and anyone on for public comments? Doesn't look like it. All right, approval of minutes from the September 29th meeting. Would like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for September 29th.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Minutes are approved. Next item, approval of financials.
There are no financial reports this month.
Easy enough, okay. Approval of bills.
You don't have any bills this month that aren't under the advertising renewals.
Okay. All right, so then the next agenda item, old business. So we will discuss the future structure of Cascade Box Tourism. Jordan, take it away.
I don't have a lot. I don't know if Janice had emailed the group earlier, but the discussion of the tourism committee came up at the last council meeting, given the need to get things quickly, as there's not a gap in coverage for you all. Council voted to hold a work session on next Monday, the 27th, with this committee, as well as request a 6-month extension with the museum board, or the museum, as the administrative services. And then during those 6 months, have the tourism committee write a new RFP for services. So that's the route they would like to see take. But that may change in discussion with that work session on the 27th. So, but that's the route they've chosen for right now.
Is there a reason? I guess, is there a reason they feel that we need a new RFP? Or are just because we're so new and we don't really know what the old one is?
We've got the old one in the packet.
Yeah,
Each packet.
yeah, so, but I just, have we even had time to try it out and to see where we're at in that as a group? Or is that what they're concerned, that we're not gonna have time, so they want us to do something new, or?
Well, that's the 6-month extension with the new
Okay.
CM board. Is
Okay,
that-
I
That
see.
6 months would give this committee and council time to figure out how it wants to move forward
Okay.
and write that RFP.
I gotcha. Okay.
So remind me
slow.
what the end of the 6-month period.
November 30th.
So starting November 30th.
So the contract ends November 30th.
Okay, and then
Unless
6
we
months
renew it.
from
So it'd
then.
be May
May 30th.
30th, right? Am I doing it, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Janice, did you wanna speak about what?
I
the
do,
museum
yeah,
is?
so, I have put together, some information for the joint work session that's based on what the museum is thinking about all of this action that we received on Tuesday of last week. And so I've printed you each a copy of the slides, and I'll go ahead and share my screen so that you have that information on the record here. I think I have to click present. And then I also have to share the screen on Zoom. Okay. So this is a draft of what the museum, board has, so I've been authorized to negotiate on behalf of the museum to just be able to actually talk freely with you all about what's going on here. And these are the recommendations that I would like to make. So. So good evening, you all know that I am Janice. I'm the executive director of the Friends of the Cascade Box Historical Museum, which is your current vendor for tourism services. And in preparation for contract renewal time, I'd like to talk to you about some of the challenges we've had with managing and administering tourism to make recommendations about how to improve everyone's experience with destination management in Cascade Box. All right. So I would like to thank. I have gotten to talk to a lot of really wonderful tourism professionals about this throughout, the discovery process of the last couple of years. And I really appreciate the time that we've received from Ithaca Jansen, Marlo Maroon, the whole Hood Board Destination Advisory Group, including Marley Boxler, Katie Cadlib, Lizzie Keenan, Lisa Harsson, and also the folks at Travel Oregon who have provided us with research and, general consultation and support. And I'll point out that one of the strengths of our proposal during the RFP process was my professional network, so these are all the great people that have gotten to help. And some of them have given up to 10 hours and free consultation on this, so this is not something that's coming without, just like out of the ether, this is supported. So some of the problems that we're seeing with Cascade Box tourism is some understanding gaps about the committee role, structure, and function, and some expectation gaps about the service levels and tourism support. So let's see what we can do to make the reality align with folks' expectations. So the committee role, structure, and function, the conclusion that I've come to is that there's some significant understanding gaps because how we've always done things and how things work on a technical scale are different. So when the city council went against the committee's recommendation in 2023 and awarded us the contract, most of the most experienced members of the tourism committee resigned. Debbie Fine stayed on long enough to give me a list of the complaints that she had prior to her resignation, and the two biggest ones were about budget transparency and committee structure. So we went into this knowing that those were the challenges that the previous committee was facing. Previous committee members were in the process of advising council on how to update and repeal ordinance 259, which is the ordinance about the tourism committee. And progress halted on that when those committee members quit. At the last joint committee and city council meeting in January 2024, the city council asked the committee to evaluate its role, structure, and function. And a lot of the city councilors and committee members have turned over since then. So Sarah is the only one who's left who was at that meeting, from this tourism committee, and Eric and Peter, the only city councilors who are still in their positions. So it's a lot of new faces and a lot of like missed information. And in the interest of continuing on that mission, so I've been thinking about this a lot because I sat at those meetings and I heard that. And I don't think the committee format is supporting the functional destination management or promotion that we need. So this is an overview of like basic board structures. So there's 3 types of board structures that government and nonprofit volunteer groups and appointed groups fall into. And I think if you went through and asked previous committee members what type of board this is, you would get some people who said each of these different answers. So while the committee has been at its most functional, it has functioned as a working board where the committee members are doing all of the work, right? So those are people who are doing that work themselves between meetings, they're preparing the budgets, they're completing projects, and they're self-governing. However, the way that the ordinance is structured, it more closely aligns with an advisory board, and I think that most of the unsatisfied committee members are perceiving that they're joining a volunteer group. I will also note that in my personal experience with working boards, they can be unsustainable because they have high turnover, because you're asking people to do what they normally do for money as a volunteer. So the ordinance that creates the committee is mostly creating a governance or an advisory board with some working board elements. It leaves it kind of open to interpretation because it's really caught up in procedures, not in function. It's got all of the numbers in there. It's 7 people appointed by the mayor, approved by the council. It comes with term definitions and position numbers and meeting rules and officers, but very vague instructions on what the committee actually does. The ordinance is also from 1988, which is when tourism was a completely different industry, right? So the ordinance is completely separate from the administrative rules that govern transient lodging tax, which were last updated in 2021. And separate from short-term rentals, which was last updated in 2024. And I think the line that really stands out in the ordinance is that the actual application, management, and direction of the program of tourism and beautification promotion planned by the committee shall be the responsibility of the city council. Various elements of it which it may choose to delegate to city officers or others. So the committee in this version, right, is making a recommendation to council, who then says, you staff member, go do this, right? Would be my interpretation of that line, but it's been interpreted so many different ways over the years because it's not a very clear direction. So I think better definition around the board structure for this committee would improve committee member experience and help everyone have clear expectations for what they are doing on this committee. I will also note that if you choose to create a volunteer group to just do the fun parts, you don't need a new ordinance. You could just repeal the current ordinance. But we talked about this a little around budget time about potentially launching a DMO organization like Visit Hood River that's a third party, or hiring an employee for this for the city, or at least drafting a new ordinance that has a better definition of what on earth is going on here, right? But either way, ordinance 259 is pretty outdated. The other problem that I see is expectation gaps between the service level for tourism support. So when basically anyone at the city talks about what this position is, they call it tourism support staff, which is a job title that implies that you're working with an employee. And I think a lack of understanding between what an employee does and what a contractor does is a big part of the problem with how the committee management takes place. So when you look at going out to RFP for a contractor, the IRS and the Bureau of Labor and Industries have really clear definitions about what constitutes an employee versus what is a contract position. And our contract itself is actually pretty clear, it's like a 1099 contract, it's legally sound, but the expectations and the feelings that go with it being a person who has a job and is doing a job makes it seem more like you might prefer to have an employee. So my recommendations to fix this problem are to create a job description instead of going out for RFP. I think that you could build this into the City of Cascade Locks organizational chart and then hire a tourism industry professional to do this, and it would clean up a lot of the confusion. I also think that it would reduce liability for a lot of that overlap between what really is a contractor. It's potentially possible that if you go out to RFP and you hire another contractor, but the expectations are still that they're an employee, that if that person was, to pursue it, the city could be liable for back employment taxes on that person. Alright, and then for follow-up, just on how to support moving forward here, I did some research into how other cities manage tourism. And most of this was from back in April when we were talking about doing strategic planning. So I went through a lot of these cities in Oregon and I identified 13 that had populations around our size and also tourism around our volume and intensity. So these were compared, looking at their proximity to the airport, the tourism industry as a market share within their local economy, their proximity to high impact destinations, and having a similar mix of lodging properties, like the right number of hotels versus Airbnbs. And that they had to be from entities that leverage their own TLT. So whether that's a city or a county, that's what we were looking at. The mix of cities that are most comparable to us are about half of them are at the coast or in the wine country areas, whether they're on the fringe of the Portland region or Willamette Valley. There were 2 in central and eastern Oregon that seemed applicable as well. We look at how they manage their destination management. 69% of them outsource to their local chamber of commerce for management. A couple of them have employees, and there are 2 others that have a city tourism advisory committee. Those are Amity, Oregon, which is in wine country, and Bay City, which is out at the coast. I went and looked to follow up on what my notes were from April, and the Amity Tourism Committees, their mix is 2 city councilors, 3 industry professionals, and 1 citizen member. And they've been working since at least April to get their destination a website. And Bay City's Transient Lodging Tax Advisory Committee hasn't met since July, but they primarily oversee a grant program where they distribute TLT to local organizations for advertising. Because of the work done by our tourism committee when it was functioning as a working board, we're developed beyond that as a destination. And I have good information from our neighboring organizations for how we grow locally. So if we look at our neighbors, if we look at Explore Troutdale and Visit Hood River is a contract with the city to their local chamber of commerce. It is significantly larger volume as far as like transient lodging tax money goes. But I think Explore Troutdale is a good and compelling one for us to look at. So in 2020, they stopped funding their chamber of commerce as a DMO and then made an employee position. And so Marley Boxer actually at her most recent city council meeting on the 14th, brought in some ROI information that was really helpful for talking about this. So since they transitioned into having an in-house employee, they've seen a 59% growth in their hotel revenue and a 238% growth in their short-term rental market. So I think that those are some pretty compelling numbers that would support you in making a decision towards potentially hiring an employee versus going out for RFP. And that is all I had, but I hope that that helps facilitate the discussion and, also lets you know that we're not like really fighting to renew this contract. But that's what I got.
Okay. Well, thank you.
We ask a few questions.
Please, yeah, no, I would love feedback on this because it's
Yeah.
for next week for the.
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, I think this is super, honestly, I think the couple questions I have. And I know that we talked about this a few months ago, when we were starting to talk about this work. You mentioned with a DMO
Mhm.
that it would be governed by a board separate from the city.
Yeah.
How typically are those board positions? Are they elected positions? Are they appointed positions by city council?
So typically, like, Visit Hood River, for example, is a 501(c)(6). They're a chamber of commerce organization, so they are an independent nonprofit that elects its own board members under their bylaws. those positions, the way that they have their bylaws set up, they have a certain mix of how they want to have representation from hotels and from food and beverage industry and from the community on the board. And I don't have that in front of me to say what that mix is, but they do have some level of requirements for who is sitting on it, and they also have county commissioners and city counselors. There's an appointed position for Cascade Box that I'm currently sitting in that I'd be happy to open up for someone.
So they do it internally, we would have no influence over,
Right, it would be like if you launch a separate organization, presumably people interested in tourism would be the founding members of that. If you were to do that launch.
um. With the DMO. What's the separation of services that are provided? Because I know we talked about the board structure here being like a, we say it, we do it. What services we potentially be giving up with the DMO?
So with the DMO, they typically have a governance style board where the board is just saying, okay, staff member, you go do the work, and then the staff are really leading the drive. So like at Visit Hood River, they have 4 staff members with an executive director. They run the visitor center. They have a $800,000 or so contract with the city to do all of the marketing, and most of it they outsource to a marketing agency to do a lot of the like more AI driven and digital things, because those are really where the big draws are.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I guess I have questions.
Please keep going.
The you said that they're a 503C nonprofit. But you also mentioned that we would essentially be the founding members of this DMO. How is it funded on an ongoing basis once it's established?
They have a contract with the city of Hood River where they have a set of metrics where they're saying, oh, you go and you do all of the advertising, we'll give you this chunk of money, it has to be spent on these things, the transient lodging tax has to be spent on. I believe we provided a copy of that at some previous tourism meeting at some point, but I do have a copy of their contract if you'd like to see it. And then they report to city council every year, and that's the whole primary oversight with the city part of it is a once a year report from the DMO to city council.
For impact?
Yeah, I mean, I have a copy of that as well. If you'd like to- yeah.
Well, I guess my question there is, so they come and they give the report, if, if city council or the community were to find that they're not moving the needle in the right way, like what are the steps then to either dissolve or move vendors?
The city goes out for contract negotiations every, I don't know how many years are in their contract, but it's probably 3 or 5 or and then there's going to be contingencies in a contract that say, oh, you can cancel, either party can cancel it with this much notice or this many things. It kind of contract takes a word. So I'm sure that they would go up for review, and then with contracts, you would put out an RFP as well as the city. So the city would put out an RFP and say, hey, we're looking for destination management organizations to be a vendor for our city for tourism.
Okay, yeah, I guess maybe not a concern, but a thought there is that, if Hood River is the one managing the DMO. I kind of feel like nobody knows our city better than us, right?
Great.
It
So-
sounds like a conflict of interest too, if they're trying to market tourists to come to themselves, like why are they gonna?
Yeah,
I
guess it's a good
We're
way
like
to
doing that and stuff.
do a better job on Cascade Locks.
Yeah.
And I love Hood River, all right, but I do kind of think that in a small way, there's a little bit of competition there, trying to get people to stop here on their way east.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that you do that either. I just was giving,
I'm not
one of the things that we had as an option was contracting out DMO services, whether that's to the new entity, Visit Cascade Box, or to some other party. Doing that wholesale contracting out of a bigger lump sum of money to do all of it, to like take care of making all of these decisions about advertising, of planning campaigns, of staffing, whatever staffing needs to happen, it puts it all onto a third party.
Yeah. What else?
So then is it accurate to say, depending on whether we went the route of a city employee or a DMO, that does this committee then still exist or have a purpose?
So the only thing governing this committee is that ordinance 259. So if you wanted to rewrite it and say, oh, we do these things. That's what I would recommend doing to maintain the committee. And if you had an employee, they could still have an advisory board, like that doesn't mean that the committee has to go away, those are separate issues. I'm recommending that you evaluate how the committee is structured and that you hire an employee and not go off a contract if you're going to have it be a person.
Yeah, cause I mean, what you were saying there about the mix with the 503C approach. I think that there's obviously value in getting local businesses and hotel leaders to come into that board. I think you need that local voice too, just the residential.
That's why we
voice.
have this committee.
Exactly, yeah. So I would be interested to see what the recommendations are to structure that. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm intrigued for sure. I guess the question that I still have lingering is, what are our control levers and mechanisms for ensuring that our voice can still be heard in whatever that outcome is?
Well, the easiest way would be to not repeal the ordinance 259, but that was the project that was underway when, and they were not trying to repeal it to like make the committee go away when the old committee was doing that. They were trying to get rid of the word beautification specifically, because that's still in there. And have a better definition of the committee goals. And that's where they kind of left it off, was this very drafty version of what to do to fix it.
Yeah. That's kind of my thought, is the delegating of authority and then what are we?
We're accountability, is what we should be. For
Yeah.
the ordinance, right?
Yeah,
Good presentation, a lot of choices.
Yeah,
But that's my counterpoint to the city council saying, no, to develop a new RFP is like a hell of a job description. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, I think that the bigger issue is what the committee or the council wants out of this position. From a staff perspective, I think, at least with Cascade Locks being a tourism-based economy, yes, tourism is good, but if we don't have the economic development to support the tourism, you kind of need both of them hand in hand. So I envision this position as tourism and economic development, which as it's set now is impossible. Moving it to an actual staff position, changing how it's funded a bit, so some of it comes from general fund or other sources, we can unleash that person to do economic development. Like the wayfinding signage, which is one of those weird things that's kind of tourism, kind of not, or streetscaping downtown, things that actually make it more pedestrian friendly to bring people here. Tourism's great, but if you bring them here and it's not what they're expecting, and they're not coming back, so.
what's the relationship with the port? Cause I guess my understanding was that the port did play a role in economic development activity.
I mean, that is their main job, is to bring jobs to Cascade Locks. That is why they exist. We've had some discussions with them about partnerships on this, but really until this city figures out what direction they wanna go, there's nothing concrete has happened. I know their focus for the most part has been on their own properties. And they've talked a little bit about some of the empty lots downtown, but no big movement. I don't want to talk for them at all, but.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have them in the room while we're having this conversation.
We used to have a lot closer relationship with the port. In fact, they used to pay for half of our brochures back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which would be nice, you know? And I think the port's looking at this in a different way. I think we can connect with them and, you know, they form the event, we market the event.
Yeah,
Kind of what it's all about.
well, and they were the incubator, right, for the, like, Thunder Island, they helped.
Yeah.
Provide space for them while they were
Exactly.
developing. Okay, I don't think I have any other questions, I have some thoughts on short-term rentals, potentially taxing them, but. The guy have any more thoughts here?
Are they being taxed at this point in time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should be.
assuming they're registered with both us and.
Now we're talking about, tents being part of the TLT, is that correct?
Those are.
They are?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would just say next Monday, come with an open mind. Figure out what's best to move the city forward.
And this will be formatted differently, but it'll be
Yeah.
basically the same presentation.
Yeah.
That's- Making it pretty wasn't the priority.
Now, do we as a committee have a role next week or?
Yeah, so it's a joint work
Listen.
session on the
Yeah.
27th. It'll start with that presentation that I'll run through real quick, and then you'll have that discussion with city council about how
Okay,
to
so
move
it's a
forward.
two-way conversation.
Yes, so I'm getting feedback from you to help guide that conversation. So I can definitely walk back the ordinance repeal part if that's something that's concerning to you all.
Yes.
Like that's
Updating,
updating.
for
It
sure.
definitely needs an update.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
And then probably better definition of those two issues.
Yeah.
So that it's more separated for those conversations, is what I'm getting from the feedback right now, but.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that my head is of one way or the other, honestly, but I appreciate you answering those questions.
So nothing else on that?
Solid.
Okay,
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you.
all right, so, still under old business here, discussion of fall, winter advertising opportunities. Looks like we also have this edition here of the Wind River Publishing.
So the Wind River Publishing Co-op ad is the one that you do with Foodie Bear, where we sell the ad spaces on your behalf, and then that's what covers the payment for it, so there's no money, but there is a time. Commitment for that. And there's a copy of the previous year's ad in there as well.
This is a two-page spread.
It is a 2-page spread, yes.
What is this? Is this something else?
This is the addition to the agenda, which is the poster. at
Oh,
Emma
oh,
Falls.
yeah, that's great, I already forgot.
And then this is tabled for the previous meeting, so if there was anything that really stood out to you, if that giant stack of media kits from last week.
Well, and I kind of wanted to like get Norm and Nate's input, because I feel like you guys have a lot more
That's where I
knowledge
was at.
and kind of.
Yeah.
A good idea
I
as
was like,
far as
okay.
market, like what makes sense, what doesn't make sense from a marketing, I don't feel like that's my
Yeah.
strong suit, and you two have
It's not
more experience, so
Exactly.
I definitely would be interested to hear your thoughts.
What are we starting with? Judy? The opportunities you have to do.
Did you guys bring your packets from last?
Yes.
I told my how I kind of figured it out. So I said, okay, so, I got, I'm gonna bring these forward and try to figure it out.
So, in order, yeah, it's not average.
Wait, you say you had
I have my copy from last week, which I can pass to you. Or last meeting, not last week.
And that's why we miss the deadline for this one though, right?
You missed the deadline for the Visit Hood River one for sure. Here, Nate, here is my packet, and I think it's in order.
Oh, pass that to you, Mom.
Thank you.
Is that the river we met? Oh, yeah, October 15th. So Travel Oregon, I guess, is the first one. And the packet.
Do we have a copy of that magazine?
I
I was gonna bring one.
was gonna say, I have a huge stack of them down at the museum, but I did not bring one tonight.
The problem I have with this magazine is that it's jam packed from front to back with ads.
It's so big.
There's not much else, but I do like, and I think we've used it before, their online advertising. Which I think is a really good opportunity. I don't think we can ignore Travel Oregon, you know, they're the big guys.
Done in the past with them, do you know, anything?
Years ago, we did, that was years ago, and they worked pretty well, actually.
Yeah, the only thing that we've done since I've been in this role was content reviews for the stuff that's like in the articles. There hasn't been any paid placements. We also did encouraging our lodgers to update their Orla thing so that they get into that. There's a free listing that you get on your or for your lodging if you update your database entry every year.
It looks like they also have the email newsletter too, and like that, and.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to think that. The. The ad editorial content is better than straight ads. Like if we can do some storytelling.
Mhm.
With. Our advertising dollars, I just think that that's more impactful than. An advertisement for. Thunder Island, or you know what I mean, or something touristy out here. I would much rather read somebody's experience. Staying here so that they can travel to Multnomah Falls than to see a picture of Multnomah Falls with stay in Cascade Locks. So I do see that it's part of the Travel Oregon package.
So where does the story go? Inside of the magazine?
But I think those specifically, I think are for the web.
Yeah, that would be great. And where's their web pricing? But, oh, here it is.
And I do think when you do things like that, you tend to get better return on SEO.
Yes.
Appreciate the demographics in here too. It skews a little older than I thought.
So is that the price for the story 3,800? I mean, it's confusing media kit, to say the
Yeah.
least, right?
So it looks like.
So there's a large bundle, medium bundle, basic bundle.
The nice thing about those digital ones too is that it's a rolling deadline, so if you have a content thing, you don't have to get it in until like 6 weeks prior to distribution, it's not like, oh, you missed it for the year because we're only printing it once. So if you have an idea for like a spring article to propose, you can propose it in December and it'll.
Yeah, I mean, $3,800 to squeeze 600 to 800 words that'll live on their website for a year feels like a decent, like in terms of everything that's available in this package. I feel more comfortable with that than I do paying $13,000 for.
Yeah,
Per order page.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, and the services that are rendered there, I'm not trying to sway everybody, but I think. Like I said, SEO is so powerful. People search for, you
they
know,
do.
if the writer's able to incorporate. The elements of why people travel to this area, the windsurfing, paddleboarding, the Multnomah Falls, like that's the stuff that comes up when they search for places to go. Places to hike in the Columbia Gorge, bam, there's Cascade Locks,
Throw it all out, like fishing, hiking,
yeah.
boating.
Well, I guess too, I don't know if we wanna look at all of the options we have in all of the, like, there's the 1889 and.
I think we've missed that.
Yeah.
That's the.
I mean, I think.
I did some research,
so
they
is it
do
in
not
Riverview?
distribute, they distribute in some hotels and motels, but it basically is a new standby. So that kind of limits the people that are gonna. put
The
their hands
1889.
on it. Yeah. However, they do have inserts, I noticed. And there's an insert that's a recreation insert that could be something to look at. Yeah. I think with Trevor Oregon, the rep is Betsy Ann. Could we perhaps get her to,
For that,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can dissect all these prices.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what the hell's going on.
Well, and she might have some good metrics for us too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like to see what the ROI is on 30.
I think she used to be with Willamette Week, actually.
she's does a lot of different things, like she was doing the sales
She's
for
good.
the River, she does,
She's good.
she's a good example of a contractor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanna, have her come and to a meeting and,
Or a Zoom meeting.
yeah,
Or Zoom
That's
us.
for Betsy.
That's how they usually show up to these.
yeah.
I will.
Even our friend that joined last meeting, even though she's right across the bridge.
I know.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Do we need to vote on that, or is that a done deal?
I mean, is that just something you reach out?
I can just send her an email and invite her to a meeting.
I do think we have to make a motion
Table this item and have her come and then
yeah, request for,
add it back to the agenda.
can I make that motion?
Please.
Okay.
Here's the great table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a little slow, you gotta wait a minute.
Okay, well, I make a motion to table any decisions on our advertising spend. And schedule a visit with Betsy Han in our November meeting or December meeting. Preferably earlier.
All in favor?
Right?
So do we wanna look at any of the other material, advertising materials then? It's-
I think with 1859, it might be a good idea to look at what they're doing with these inserts, especially recreation, you know? However, the pricing, I mean, we could get 5 billboards for the price of a full page in this thing.
You know, and with billboards too, it's so funny because I tend to think, it's kind of a dated format for display.
Oh, it works, man.
I was gonna say, like,
It's a killer.
I work in Gresham, and
Yeah.
every day I pass by the Egg River billboard.
I know, right? Right?
So there's just some staying power there, especially as you're entering the
We've
84.
got a weed to tease, remember that one?
Or remember kissing,
Oh, yeah.
coming out of the airport?
Cathedral Ridge makes a lot of money off their billboard.
Yeah,
A lot
they
of
sure
business.
do.
They're worth their weight in gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you could plant it in a good spot like that. As people are making their way on 84 heading east, that like, they're looking for space
Bam.
to stop, yeah.
Yeah.
Third Wheeler's best billboard was coming from the east
yeah,
for
from the
years.
Dalles.
Oh, really?
They dropped
Not
it.
there no more?
No,
Oh, wow. Oh, I
They cut
remember
that
that one,
I
yeah.
remember that.
and we could go up on billboards,
Yeah,
Stern Wheeler, Port, whatever.
I do think whatever we end up settling on, I want like some sort of really decent commitment on. Showcasing the ROI, like I'd love, if it's through here, like I wanna see like. Maybe quarterly reports on click-through rate, balance rate.
Yeah,
If it's display advertising, I'd love to do some kind of like survey.
Yeah.
When people land where they're supposed to go. Just to help us make decisions in the future.
everybody's using QR codes for that now.
And
You are, oh.
QR codes.
QR codes it
Years
is.
later.
My husband has a T-shirt with the QR.
People
code
are
on
getting
it.
tattooed.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because slates do die.
Mhm.
Okay, well, yeah, I think I feel pretty good with that, Ben, and I love to explore 1859 or 1889.
89.
What? What is this one? Why is there a difference between 1815 and 1880 then?
One's Washington and one's Oregon.
No,
Oh,
okay,
I
what?
can even actually.
Oh, I see.
Okay, that's what was so confusing to me.
Okay, yeah.
see, June and July, the outdoors. Add reservation by May 8th.
We got some time on that one then.
Yeah.
Okay, what about, there's also this outdoors Northwest. Look, you get this one in the back, it's like it was sent through.
Oh, there.
Oh, there's another one too, Winter Magazine, Oregon Winter Guide,
Oh boy, it's too many magazines.
yeah, that's why I did too. Review it before this meeting. I'm not familiar, who's familiar with those publications? They're,
Yeah. Oh, that's Willamette Week actually, in the back.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think that's an answer. Yeah, Winter Guide.
probably.
That might be, I mean, that might be worth exploring, just because it's a free publication to pick up at a coffee shop or.
I was gonna say, I haven't seen a Willamette Weekly since I
That's,
moved
you
down
can't
here.
find one when you go to town, they get picked up in 2 days.
Yeah, because we were in and out of spare room all the time, we always had a rack.
You
I
know,
was always, but now, we don't have anything like that out
I
here.
think back in 2010, the committee did an ad in Willamette Week for garage sale days. This town was, I mean, it was
Oh, I can
unbelievable. Remember
imagine
that year?
I
They
can
were everywhere.
imagine that, yeah.
And then I think tourism did a discount for every restaurant and hotel, and people were staying and going out to eat. It was
You said to show the ad.
amazing.
I like that, we have to show the
My
ad.
neighbors made, I think, 12,000 on their garage sale that year, which was amazing. Tools.
Well, Willamette Weekly is one of those that, like you said, it's a free pickup, people sit, they read it,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah,
Yeah, it says they have them in Powell's, New Season.
oh, they're everywhere,
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
it's good spread. And I'm definitely down to explore the options there.
Those are some
I know
good
that
prices, actually.
I didn't see it in there, it's probably in here
It's
somewhere,
at the very back,
very back.
yeah,
Like in an email too.
it's it's on an Outlook. It's all the way,
Not a pretty media kit.
no, it's just like an
Hey,
email.
when you got results, you don't have to doll it up.
No.
They're good.
It's definitely on the backside of the one you're holding.
They also have a spring guide, I think. Also.
Yeah, flip it over,
But they say it's a beautifully designed glossy magazine.
Yeah,
their inserts are usually that way, because they want people to hold on to them.
yeah.
For, you know. They're a little big for the refrigerator, but they're
Perfect
still,
down too. They don't stitch them, they perfect find them.
Yeah.
The square.
yeah.
Winter approaches.
Yeah.
I was with Halloween candy, I don't know, but I dipped into.
I mean, those prices seem good.
Those are good prices, actually.
What do we, as a relative newbie to Cascade Locks, what are some winter things that we've been noting?
We've been.
Discussing that
Oh,
for
Yeah.
the last 2 years.
Yeah.
and I've been,
The port's really pushing biking now,
Winter biking?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
biking year round. I think they're doing a campground also.
Oh.
We're probably behind their bike,
Yeah. Behind where?
behind Bear Mountain.
Oh,
Can't believe I live out here, I have no bike.
Yeah, the winter activities we've talked about several times, but the biggest problem is always
The weather.
the weather.
yeah,
Exactly, it's like, okay, we can plan and spend, but then they can't get here, so. That's always been the kind of the focus around the spring,
Maybe
fall,
more so,
summer, yeah. We can get them here and trap them and they can.
Exactly.
Good trap 'em.
A lot of money that way.
Right.
We get a copy of the Willamette Week, insert.
I will ask. Was that Emily Martin? That's the
Yes.
contact woman?
Okay, so we just wanna make a motion to table the Willamette Week opportunity until we can get a copy of the insert and re-review.
Your motion was pretty all encompassing. It's just
Yeah.
moved to
Was
table
it?
advertising spend until November and December.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think it's all been tabled.
I just wanna like pick out the ones that
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
not gonna review again, so we don't really affect the.
No problem, but you don't need a motion for this.
I'll just make a note.
It's a verbal win for Dave Jones.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So then. But then there's also what in this pocket, the Columbia River Gorge Visitor Magazine and website. Opportunity, or do we wanna
So
also table?
Well, I think, yeah.
That one, there's no like spending that you need to do. That one is a sales thing where we sell the ads. For it, that's the one that Judy does, was a co-op.
Okay, and sorry, which item did that go under? That was the.
That was, it's it's the one edition.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
we're in the right order.
Hey,
Okay, so sorry, what is this again?
it's a kiosk.
So the co-op
really?
ad is in the what Columbia River Gorge magazine, from sitting at the front desk in the visitor center is the most picked up magazine. Judy Bear is like Gorge Local, she does the publication, she does the whole thing, and classically what you've done is a co-op ad where we sell the ads in the in the 2-page spread, and that's what covers the cost of it. And then Judy does all the billing parts of it, we just need to get the commitments from the local businesses that wanna participate.
Okay.
So who gets the commitments? I mean, is that something
Last year it was you and Amber,
you and him? Okay, I mean, like, that's.
and in January of this year, who's it gonna be?
I can't, okay, that's why, that's why I'm asking, I mean, if this is something we're gonna do, then who goes out and does it, and what do we need to do?
It's an easy sell.
You've got commitments already from.
Okay,
In fact, we've had fights for positions on this.
Yeah, last year we ended up selling a lot of double ads because of people are pulling out of this, but. You've got a commitment for renewal from Thunder Island and, next year, the Bridge of the Gods Centennial Celebration
Oh, yeah.
Committee budgeted to put that in there.
okay.
It's gonna be a big deal. We need to do a lot of promotion.
But that'll be a while.
Yeah, it's got a month-long thing, that's awesome.
Okay, so I guess, what is that
That's
an
the-
item on this one?
Do you wanna spend time doing this?
Yes,
Do I personally want to like? Rounding up the businesses, or is that the question, or you? You guys
We're in
did that
contract
last time?
negotiations, I have no idea who's gonna be doing this.
Someone, but it would be us.
Can we do it by email? We
When's
can-
Oh, yeah, it is on it, no.
when is Judy's deadline?
I don't know offhand, it's not until, she does a discount if you renew by December or something, and then the thing itself is due in February, but.
So there is some
Still
time,
get the money.
But I guess, is there anything between now and then that we would change our minds? Well,
This is traditional.
yeah, I think, yeah,
You did budget to
It's a
participate.
good man.
yeah, okay.
yeah, okay.
She gets it everywhere.
Someone wanna make a motion?
Should we not table it, so you can do it?
You can't table everything. Yeah,
Bit motions once in a while. All right, making a motion to.
renew advertising.
Yeah, I'll wait for that. We're doing the, we're waiting to meet with the lady, right? What's her name?
Well, this,
So, yeah,
This is, the Gorge guy.
renew the co-op ad in the Columbia River Gorge magazine.
Oh.
Recommended version.
So we're making a motion to go ahead and go through with that, right?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry.
Have a great day.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to watch that game too. Yes, I'm making a motion. Sorry, guys.
Two.
Oh,
You have to say it out loud.
You gotta say it out, I can't think it to yourself.
so we're making a motion for which one? I'm sorry, I'm all, this one's got me.
Columbia River Gorge
Yeah.
magazine.
Okay, because I tried to go through that and I was a shambles, so.
Someone else like to make the motion?
Yeah, someone else makes a motion, please.
I make a motion to continue advertising with Columbia River Gorge magazine, the 2-page spread. And Jan gets to sell it again.
Well, at this point.
Welcome to the club.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Congratulations,
Motion
Janice.
passes.
Yes.
He'll be beat down your way. I noticed Pete,
Okay.
Jason did an ad. Good.
Next, new business, PCT days recap. Jason has been patiently awaiting.
Oh, my goodness,
For-
hang out over here.
And I went first.
Wake them up.
It's probably got the game on the corner.
Yeah.
I'm here.
You can say,
Oh, here he says.
please don't.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Jason.
take it away.
The Mariners are trying to give this one away. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh, no.
What's the
Yeah.
score? It's
It's top top of the seventh inning. Mariners are up 3 runs to 1. However, the Blue Jays have men on second and third with 1 out.
Oh, Lord.
No time runs on
Here
base.
goes the home run.
Oh, hold on. Oh,
Home run.
I can't say that word. I don't believe it. I do believe it because the Mariners are choke artists. George Springer just came up and hit a 3-run home run. It's now 4-3 Toronto.
Say that.
Ah,
Oh.
So 4-3.
yep.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
just texting a buddy. I used to pitch baseball, and I right in my gut, I said, you got to walk this guy. You got to walk him. You can't.
Was it Vargas? Vargas
Was that-
again? Vargas gave up the home run? Who gave up the home run?
It's they just brought him in. I think it's Munoz.
Rubio.
He's gonna
You know,
he's gonna
shake.
He's gonna tank that great game. Kirby was pitching a good game.
I don't believe it. I mean, I do believe it. It's the Mariners. What's frustrating is if the Mariners win this game, I have a guaranteed ticket to the World Series, and I've never been to one.
Yeah.
So I'm just, if these guys cut me out of a World Series, boo. I'm a Mets fan anyway, so what the heck?
Only done by one, only done by one.
First time.
But anyway, here we are. Yeah, thank you. This was another great festival this year. It was very strange to have another year of inclement weather. Usually those days in August are guarantees, and now from going forward, I'm going to just be ready for rain. I guess things have changed, and we've had 2 years in a row, but it didn't hurt the event too much. We had to change a few things on Friday, primarily move the raffle we have that day and merge it into the one on Saturday. And I think going forward, we're just going to have one raffle on Saturday to make it easy. But we had a very successful event, though. This was a year that I had the most feedback from sponsors about how well organized it was logistically, how good of a job my staff did. I have a whole new team that are logistics coordinators that are paid, and they're there with me from sun up to sundown Thursday when we set up to when we leave on Sunday. So huge kudos to those people for helping us out with this. We saw a repeat exactly of 114 sponsors. That is confirmed sponsor booths, which of course included a mix of paid sponsors, nonprofits that don't pay, and a few other orgs. but the attendance was about 4,700. Certainly a bit up from the previous year, but right in the sweet spot. We don't want any more. We have a perfect ratio of visitor to booth rate, if that makes sense. Meaning if the sponsors are happy, then we're happy, because after all, they're funding this thing. So we had a great return with a lot of business that was done at these sponsor booths. Of course, on Main Street, there are lines at certain doors for meals, etc. We had a really great drive with the Columbia Gorge Food Bank again, who was set up at our entrance. They took in 600 pounds of food and about a little over $2,000 in cash. The raffle that I just spoke of raised just a little under $9,000, which was split by Trail Keepers of Oregon, the Aldo West, and the PCTA, the three trail organizations. So we will continue that model going forward with those trail orgs benefiting from the raffle, of course, the food bank, keeping attendance where it is, sponsorship right where it is. I think the biggest change we need to make, because there were complaints, and for some reason, whether people weren't reading the info we had listed on social media and the website, parking on Saturday got sticky. Lots of people were driving down in the marine park when all the parking spaces were full. Not to their fault, they didn't know, but I think a super simple fix, which I can get from the port because they have one, is a parking full sign or marine park parking full sign, something to that effect. That way it lets somebody coming up on Main Street, oh, okay, that's full. I need to park up here and walk in. For our overnight guests that are camping on Thunder Island, the plan will remain to be parked across the street in the school field, which I rent each year from the Hood River County School District. So logistically, with everything on site, it's all going to be pressing repeat. The only thing, if you're familiar with the event, that you'll notice is different and probably will be improved, we will be moving the food and beverage carts most likely to that parking area that's right near the footbridge to Thunder Island. A lot of attendees had felt that the food was hidden behind the pavilion, which I could kind of see. Yeah, and so what's going to be great is this setup will be outside of our fencing. Therefore, we don't have to worry about our hours as much, meaning an individual at a food truck, I don't care if they sling burritos till 2 a.m. when we're closed in there. I'm kidding, they probably won't, but it'll help us out with also resupply. A lot of these food vendors need to resupply their trucks, and they're all pinned in back there, and it's very hard to get a trailer out in the night or a truck. So I feel that change will drastically help things out. Other than that, we're pressing repeat for next year. Same weekend in the year. No changes really to a schedule. And what else? The plan regarding the tourism committee is for the same ask of $2,500 to be exclusively used for advertising. And in barter, the committee will get another headline level sponsorship, which is valued at $3,000 with no out-of-pocket expenses to the committee. It's a straight up bartered situation. And of course, you'll be able to have a booth again. But that's pretty much all I have. I think I'll be quiet a moment and be more of an ear than a mouth and hear what questions might come in or comments, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I think your observation about moving the food trucks was a really good one. I mean, I was down there both days and I would agree that you couldn't really see them back there. So I think they'll be happy too. They'll probably get a lot more business if they're out in that kind of separate parking area. But yeah, I thought it was great. Like lots of people having a good time, and it was fun to be in the booth giving away stuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
Huge moneymaker for local business, Jason. Everybody is in heaven. You're the ninja.
Yeah.
Remember, I saw the first deer, man. Remember when you walked into tourism with your your head over your, over your heart, wondering if we support you. I think this is the best event we have, no doubt about it. And you are a ninja, no doubt. You work
Thank you.
hard.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's certainly a feel-good situation when you can do business, but also give back. I mean, it's very personal for me. I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail 20 years ago this year, and it continues to have an effect by the people I met, the experiences I had. Obviously, I was in Cascade Locks during my hike. At the time, I lived on the East Coast, and it was the hike and the experience that brought me out here as a resident. So I've lived now in Northeast Portland. This is my 18th. This will be my 19th year coming up. And yeah, the event is really, as a whole, it's not a me thing, it's a we thing. It really is. It wouldn't happen if we didn't have over 100 volunteers that come out and all the support of these sponsors. And to have it go to a 19th year next year is incredible. So I'm thankful for it. And we're going to do something really big for the year 20. I'm not sure how that looks yet, but probably something in the form of entertainment or something like that. But yes, it's been wonderful to watch grow, and I don't have many plans to change it.
Yeah, it's my first year seeing it, and I was really impressed. Good energy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wish we had video of the early years. It would have been cool to have patched all the videos from all the years together in like a 15-minute reel on YouTube or something, and you could see how it morphed. I mean, originally this thing was Jason's beer party in the gorge, which had no permits or insurances, and it was done safely and respectfully, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was still a professional photographer at the time, and which I still dabble in, and it really right around the year 5 is when it started to take professional roots. So a big thanks again to the committee, the town of Cascade Locks, all the people that have supported us along the way, because I do respect and understand that having these events in town aren't easy. Not everybody loves it. It does create, for our 48 to 72 hours of presence, some headaches with parking. But we try, and we're going to continue to try to make people happy and not inconvenience the best that we can.
Well, let's make a motion so we can get his World Series tickets. They're gonna pull it up, Jason, in the 9th.
I'm not taking that bet. It's the Mariners. It's I mean, I go to a lot of games. I'm a baseball nerd. I have friends that play the game professionally. And yeah, I share the pain of a Mariners fan. I understand it. But I'm a little bitter here if they don't get in, because this will be, who knows when my next chance to see a World Series would be, But yeah, it's just a game at the end of the day.
Rockies fan, so there's no greater pain than being a fan of the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, but they've been in the World
So
Series.
they've not won a World Series game. They got swept.
Yeah, right.
I would trade places with the Mariners right now in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, they're a good team, and they'll be back next year in some shape, but you can't say they'll get this.
It's over yet. It's not over.
Not over till the fat lady sings.
That's it. What is it? Yeah, 2 outs in the 8th inning, 4-3. So the Jays are close. Fingers crossed. All they need, one big swing and a home run ties it. So
Yeah.
sorry, that's really unprofessional. I can't help it.
Yeah, we're trying to be like you.
Yeah,
So we're now yeah, that was it for the Mariners in the 8th. So I mean, technically the Jays are 3 outs away. Maybe not. But are there any other suggestions, questions, comments? And if there aren't any at this time, feel free, any of you sitting there, to email me at pctdays@gmail.com. I'll I'll respond probably within 24 hours. I'm pretty good about that. And I won't get cooking on it, meaning planning and working on the festival pretty much till about the second week of January. There are some other things that I can't discuss yet, in the scope of me working on an additional festival or two. But that will be a topic probably brought up in the next meeting. So we'll see about that.
Well, thanks for joining us and for the reports.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
All right, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.
Good night.
All right, new business.
Did we make a motion on his grant?
No, he'll submit.
Oh,
he'll
okay.
submit it.
He hasn't done it yet.
So, this was my item, discussion picnic tables, so. I didn't get anything printed off or anything, but just for new members.
I need
this-
you a thingy for your packet, that included links we could pull up that you submitted from May.
Oh,
I think if just turn the page.
Yeah. The committee budgeted 8,000 with the.
Just like a recap of how
Yeah.
far the discussion had gotten at this point. Mm-hmm.
I looked in here and I didn't, oh, it's in here. Look at that.
I guess inflation's hit picnic tables now too, isn't it?
I'm sure.
Good lord.
They're on
Yeah.
sale now too.
Oh,
They're on sale for only slightly more than they were last year.
Yeah.
yeah, so we looked at, some different styles of picnic tables, and Janice can pull some up, but basically. The thought was it would be great to put 2 in the Overlook Park area and then potentially 2 down to like the park area where the cemetery is. And that one of the 2 should be ADA accessible. And so this style that I sent links to was based on some feedback I received about what's sturdy, but there's.
I don't know why I just refreshed.
But anyways, there's some different styles. There's, the ADA ones have like one of the 4 seats cut out, so like a wheelchair can pull up to it.
The ADA ones are the ones that are on sale too.
Aren't those the same ones they're using down on Port property by the lagoon?
I don't know, I haven't been down.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I just, I know there's other materials out there,
It should be metal.
but, so anyway, when we did the budget, previously, we were trying to think of some things that we could actually purchase that, visitor, of course, locals could use them too, but like give some visitors, a place to actually hang out and eat the lunch they brought or just rest after they've been walking around, so, yeah, so there's like a square version of the ADA one too, but, so I don't know as far as timing, obviously now we're coming into the winter season, I don't know how many people are gonna be hanging out outside,
But it's a deal.
yeah, but, maybe that doesn't matter, so. Anyway, it had been several months since we talked about this, so I just wanted to bring it for discussion and, if you guys wanna take some time to look at it, what the options are out there.
Did I voted on? It's in the budget.
Yeah,
Cool.
well, I don't know if it's does it specifically didn't say.
So what the committee would need to do is say, make a recommendation for what you want to do, like which ones you want to purchase, and then make the motion, and then we would submit the purchase order and the link to Jordan to order them.
Question, would we have them installed? Would they be like do concrete foundation and have them like installed into the ground or?
They have them on concrete now for property. Probably.
Yeah, so-
Yeah,
I think like, and that I think would be a question to ask what their preference is, because like in that area down towards where the cemetery is, it's just kind of grass. But I think like the Overlook Park is already pavers, so I don't know if they would like drill them into the pavers, but that's at least already a
So,
solid surface.
so who's they?
The city.
The city, so we would be purchasing them and giving them to the city to install. Okay, and they would be putting them together.
Yeah.
They. Okay, or do they come? I just.
Oh, I guess I haven't looked like.
Okay, I just
Older.
been through 2 weeks of putting together metal sheds. For chickens and wood. So installation things are like, I'm like. I have already been told that I'm never to order another DIY building for our property again. Or my husband will divorce me. So that's pretty good after 40 years. You know, but at this point, it's like, the first thing I thought of was, who's putting those together?
Yeah, totally.
And how they would be installed, because a lot of places, even like at the cemetery with the grass. Would, if they want them a concrete pad
Yeah.
poured. To put down, because you're not gonna be able to mow around them,
yes.
that's gonna be a weed eating nightmare, I'm just thinking of that part
Yeah,
of
so
it,
I
so,
think like that
yeah.
conversation, more so with that space than this space.
Than the
would
Overlook,
need to
right,
happen.
right.
But I wanted to bring it. To.
It's something to think
discuss.
about,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then like, maybe we can electronically send out the links so that if you wanna see what.
I think it's a great idea, I mean, I
Or
see
color
it.
choices,
Yeah.
obviously there's different colors.
In Stevenson, they have that nice little area during the summer with
Yeah.
the sidewalks and then they raffle off. They do painted artistic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's,
Didn't you do one of them?
I did three of them this year.
yeah, so I mean, but it's great for
Well, it
people
is
coming
good.
through town and they.
There's not really a lot of places to sit.
Sit,
No,
you
and
know,
I was saying, even.
I think that's great,
Cause a lot of families, I notice. They don't always wanna eat at the same place, so they'll
Yeah.
get to go, and you'll see them sitting on the side.
out by the bathrooms and then they'll sit, their doors open and when I was at Ale House, they'd have the back. Of the truck open and stuff and they'd be sitting there eating and and they'd have 2 or 3 different from 2,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we loosely, I mean, I think we budgeted with the idea of 2 at each place, but I think too, the discussion could be open of, does it make sense, especially after talking to the city, if they're like, oh, we don't wanna deal with any down there, then maybe there's space for 3 over here, so I mean, so I think there's flexibility, but
Yeah.
it's just something we discussed it.
But
Initially, we're like, okay, maybe 2 and 2.
but even in that budgeting of approximately 8,000, does that include? Money for the installation that we would be paying the city, would be giving the city to handle all of that part of it?
I don't know if they would.
Would they charge us?
But there should be plenty of.
Okay, I'm just, yeah.
For that, like, I think, just because we weren't sure, so.
Okay.
Because how much was the one that?
Even if 4 at $1,000, you still got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
okay,
I think we were trying to be conservative with knowing there's some unknowns.
so there would be some unknown costs.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
that makes total sense.
yeah, but I guess if you don't mind emailing the group, those links so they could like click on
They're
them.
in your email packet,
Oh,
right?
They're in your pack.
Okay, so if folks just as a takeaway wanna look and.
And I think configuration would depend on the size. The configuration of where they're gonna put them. Would it make more sense to have a round one in a certain area or a rectangle? I mean, depending on
Yeah,
where they're gonna be dropped.
yeah, so, just something to think about and, I wasn't planning for any action on this tonight, I just wanted to bring us, I figured you guys remember talking about it, but.
Yeah.
That way maybe we can. Get some information and make decisions
That's a
before
great idea.
spring comes around.
Yeah,
So any like questions about that or? No?
as long as we don't have to put them together.
No, I don't think
So we're saying that locations are still up in the air.
Yeah, I can email Jordan and just ask this, just what about in particular. That, I'll ask about both and just let him know that it's something that we've discussed and just make sure there's no like red flags. Around that and just get an idea if a concrete pad is needed or if that's worth pursuing. Cause I think, I don't know how much traffic that part of Quanapah gets, but at the same time, the charging stations are there. People stop there.
There's people in there all the
And
time.
eventually, there will be more developed that direction, I think, with the coffee shop building is going in. And so I think like
Yeah.
people will.
I noticed there
look
was a
at
porta potty in the cemetery parking lot this summer.
Hmm.
Off and on, and I think that had to do with the has waste stuff, but it seemed to be being used.
Yeah,
Cause we come out that way all the in and out
yeah,
Forest Lane, so yeah. And at one point I went, oh, that's really awesome, they've got a porta potty there because of our bathroom situation in town.
Yeah.
So,
so, okay, so more time on that one. All right, agenda item 10, upcoming events.
Are we gonna, do we do the kiosk?
No, but I didn't interrupt you because I was like,
Sorry.
Christine's been sitting for so.
oh, yeah.
That was supposed to be about under 8.
Yes,
Okay, kiosk. Backtracking to 8.
This is something we do.
so this is
Have
the
done.
poster at Multnomah Falls,
Backlit,
it's backlit, it's another co-op ad where you have advertising sales that are done to the local businesses, they pay a portion of this for a little square on the poster. It's due for an update. But as long as you. wanna
this is
keep
a
on.
good marketing venue,
Yeah.
Community Lodge fights for these spots, I have clients that weren't in line, they still don't have a spot. And I think we've got the premier spot right in front. As people pass through and look, so I think this is a great thing to renew.
Oh, definitely, I agree.
Would you like to make a motion, someone like to make a motion to?
Is it the same pricing and
It's the pricing that is on here, I don't have. the
this
list.
is another one where they fight for the spots, Cascade Locks, right? Rightfully
yes.
so.
Yeah, it's very rare that we have somebody vacate their
Yes,
spot for that.
oh, I make a motion, we renew the backlit, actually, it's a backlit signage. I think we've got a double spot too, don't we?
If
They
it's-
sit right
I don't know,
next
it's a
to
big
each other.
poster.
Yeah, well, this used to be about $300 a year with that price.
I know,
Somebody, yeah,
like you said, people want that spot,
yeah,
gotta pay for it. Yeah, I
so I
second,
make a motion, we renew this and you'll do the spots on that, Janice, or are we gonna do them?
I can do them if people renew before November 30th.
There you go.
Until we get further information.
Vacation or what?
Okay,
we gotta get with some lads on there, right?
Is there a deadline on this?
Yeah,
You are set to renew this by November 1st, so this should be decided at this meeting.
yeah.
Okay, good, I'm glad we went back to it. Yeah, I second.
okay, all in favor?
Wait, this one, sorry, couple. I just read the date on the renewal, it says 26 to 27.
11/26 to 10.
This is a whole year in
So
advance.
this is a year.
Yeah.
Start date 11/1/26, end date 10/31.
Sorry, I didn't notice that before printing it
Yeah.
out, but now that you're voting on it, I'm like, wait a minute.
Well,
Are we a whole year ahead? Because that's not classically where you've been with this vendor.
but maybe they have so many people buying for the spaces. I don't know.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, let me ask for clarification on
Cause
that.
it's, the dates match up in this box too, so it doesn't- I don't think it's a typo.
Yeah,
Let me double check on this,
this
whether
is
approve
about-
it contingent on it being for this year, would be
Or
a
for
amended
20.
motion.
This is
25,
not only the
26.
advertisers pay for the entire thing, or do we pay part of this?
The advertisers pay for,
Not bad.
a division of this.
So then does the approval need to be contingent on it being for
For this year.
26?
Yeah, let me check and see if that's a typo or not, if you're already due, like, if you're not due to renew it, then we don't need to renew it right this second, but. We still need to do the advertising sales, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we renew it. Didn't we just get that up, a bigger one? Didn't we vote on a bigger one? Cause we had a smaller one.
so, yeah, you get two, distribution service agreement renewals per year with certified folder, you get one in the spring for the brochure distribution, and then this one has an older program on Highway 26 for the brochure distribution for a couple of spots, and then. The poster, so these are for the two like little visitor center kiosks that certified folder has. Is my understanding of why it comes twice is because it's for two different programs, but.
So do we need to restate that motion then?
I would I would recommend making it contingent on it being for this calendar year, or with like the double checking on the dates for this. Unless you wanna renew it a full year in advance, but.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd like to amend
Mhm.
the motion. To
Let's see what
approve,
we're up against.
to approve the contract contingent on. Being applicable for November 25 through October 26.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Alright. Motion passes. Alright, sorry for going out of order. Okay. So now back to upcoming events.
Nothing actionable for the committee, but if you'd like to be aware, the Cyclocross Crusade is this upcoming weekend, which is that bike race that they do around Halloween every year out at the Easy Climb. And that is Friday, or the 26th and 27th, so Saturday, Sunday. No, wait, the 25th and 26th, Saturday, Sunday. And then Daybreak Racing, who does that big, waterfall race in the spring and April, it has a new race coming November 8th called the Thunder River Race, where they're doing a 25K and a 50K. And those will both be starting and ending in the Marine Park, so that one usually.
very good.
In April, people are like, wait a minute, why is there traffic? And they get confused and concerned by the amount of business in town, so they're bringing us another one for the fall, so November 8th is the new race.
Okay, quarterly reports, updates.
Yep, so every quarter we go to, or I go to city council and I tell them what we did, it's part of our contract, and so here is the draft of the quarterly report for next Monday. And I, just like the last thing, get to practice it on you first and make those updates and adjustments if I need to before sending it to Jordan for that packet. So the summer quarter, looking at visitation for this year, the museum had a pretty good summer. We served 3,244 people between March 1st and September 30th. And we're still continuing to see strong visitation on sunny days through October. Visitor inquiries are up 45% from 2024. So those are people that are just coming in to ask a question and that have recognized that this is a visitor center too. And we're attributing that growth to year-over-year awareness, frontline staff training, where people who are working at the front desk of a hotel or the cashier at the grocery store say, oh, go to the museum, they know that stuff. And also optimizing that separate Visit Cascade Box listing on Google Maps. Visitor questions are as varied as the visitors themselves, but generally fall into 4 categories. 37% of the questions that we get are for visitors looking for tangible things. These are resources. So if they're looking for parking permits, bus schedules, maps. Most of these requests are for Multnomah Falls parking permits, which is something that are available for pickup at the museum. The next biggest chunk of questions are for recommendations where visitors are seeking local knowledge to support their experience. So they're asking for which restaurant should I go to lunch? Where should I go to see a tree? What body of water is this? They're looking for recommendations, so, definitely scoping out, like, is it worth the hike to go do, hike at Eagle Creek? Should I go fight for a parking place? Content is the history, arts and culture questions that overlap with tourism, so we get a lot of questions about like, where are the locks, right? That's the number one.
Yeah. So where are those logs?
Why is it called the Bridge of the Gods? Am I on the Oregon Trail right now? Like, those are the kinds of questions that, people are traveling and they're doing tourism, but it overlaps with the museum content. And then amenities, this chunk has shrank. This used to be our biggest one, and it has gotten better over the years where people have figured out where the bathroom is and they have figured out how to park, but there still could be improved, with some signs. So 14% of the questions we ask could be replaced by a sign, or answered. Looking at the seasonal highlights for the summer at PCT Days, we provided significant support to the committee for your presence at PCT Days, including staffing the booth, designing the swag, processing the orders through the city when the committee was unable to make a quorum, but making sure those vendors got paid. We had some great seasonal events this summer. The Bridge of the Gods run sold out, the cross channel swim sold out. There were many racing association regattas with the sailboats. There was a point where I saw some of the Olympic teams out zipping around on the water. It's been a real exciting time to be outside. The outdoor wedding season had a great year as well. That has extended from being more May to September through April through October over the last couple of years. Our Cascade Locks area venues hosted 86 weddings that had more than 100 attendees this season. Gorges in particular is seeing an increase in their destination weddings where people are coming sight unseen from the Midwest and from New York and saying, we want to get married in Oregon in the Gorge, and everyone's flying in and staying the night. And they are doing twice that in smaller events was what Janetta and Kelly both reported. Looking into the fall events, as I just mentioned, we've got Cyclocross Crusade and the Thunder River Race coming up. Local amenities that we are seeing improvements on, the Northwest Trail Alliance is building that skills development area at the Easy Climb. So we helped apply for a grant with that for Recreation Ready last December, and it was not selected. They're moving forward with that project anyway. CritFic has received their Travel Oregon grant for that feasibility study to support indigenous salmon sales in Cascade Locks. And so that was a grant that we supported as well. Oregon Wildlife Foundation, who are the operators at the fish hatchery, received that Travel Oregon grant for updating their interpretive information. And we supported that grant. Thunder Island Brewing Company has brought in more of a different brand of electric vehicle charging stations, which is another indicator for travel. And then the museum staff spent some time attempting to recruit some indoor winter facilities that did not go through. We tried really hard to get that ice rink, you guys, like. We're also working towards 2026 resource development, so we did the content verification for the Cascade Locks map, Travel Oregon's visitor guide, and Visit Hood River's visitor guide. So all of that content has been checked and made sure that it's up to date and doesn't have anything weird that's like 10 years old in it, and gotten reconnected with some of our local businesses that through that too, which is nice. Conferences and training, I attended the Travel Ability Summit last week, which was in Sun River, Oregon, and I got that registration and stipend via Experience Mount Hood and the Gorge, which is our regional destination management organization. You'll hear me say RDMO sometimes, that's what I'm referring to as them. And the helpful and exciting takeaways from that summit was coaching on helping hotels and attractions see accessibility providers as allies, not the ADA police. I thought that was a really good framing for that. and making spaces accessible and how it improves the visitor experience for everyone. So if you make something wheelchair accessible, like you can still use it with a stroller. It's not just for wheelchair users. And also on training your frontline disability staff on the access and amenities in your community, which is a really key thing to the visitor experience. So if someone goes into the grocery store and they say, oh my gosh, I need an adult changing table for this disabled person that I'm helping, where do I go? And the grocery store's like, oh, it's not a helpful experience, right? So getting that content and information out there so that people are prepared to ask or to answer questions when they come up. We also talked a lot about creating welcoming environments for travelers with sensory processing needs, which includes people who are autistic and ADHD, but also people with PTSD and traumatic brain injuries. We got to hear updates from other destinations about how investing in disability accommodations is winning them large events. Miami is hosting the FIFA World Cup next year, and part of that is because they are so disability accessible. They're attracting events just because they don't have to do anything special to their facilities because they're already very accessible. And they also had some stats on how usage rates for different visitor amenities, like the MobiMax are these mobile outdoor wheelchair access things that are really popular at beaches. Residents are using those 10 times more frequently than visitors, even though they're being purchased for visitor use and as tourism related facilities. So like Experience Mountain in the Gorge put one in at Kiakawa Orchard, so people who are using walkers and wheelchairs can go out and pick apples. And residents are using that as well. It's not just tourists, right? And it was also just a really good demonstration of people who are really accessibility trained and making like seamless transitions for providing visual descriptions for people who are low vision and just making that information and content available. Just seeing demonstrations of how people build accessibility into their speeches is really cool. Looking at regional and statewide initiatives, Wheel the World Destination Verified. So this is Travel Oregon's Big Fall initiative, which is centering accessibility. We are now the first state to be accessibility verified by Wheel the World, which is an international travel site supporting tourists with disabilities. I personally supported Cascade Locks businesses in getting verified for this under the West Columbia Gorge designation. So we have a page that says like that these businesses have been verified as the level of accessibility that they have. All of our businesses rated above a 4 out of 5, which is great. Or at least the ones that got featured and mapped for that did. And we split that page with Troutdale, so the whole experience that they've created for this part of the gorge is between here and Troutdale, so they mapped everything from like hotels in Troutdale to Multnomah Falls to the Vista House to in Cascade Locks with the Brigham Fish Market and a couple of the campgrounds and Thunder Island Brewing. They're all getting built into this. And also this is our feature week for the region. So all of the marketing that's going out from Travel Oregon about accessibility this week is all the Gorge ones. So any of the little videos that you'll see this week will all be Gorge features. And the latest itinerary for an accessible road trip around Mount Hood and the Gorge. They featured the Stern Wheeler and the Bonneville Fish Hatchery as featured attractions for the region. Nice. I pulled the lodging reports for Travel Oregon just because this is probably the best set of data that we have to show that we're outperforming. So our Lake Gorge region is outperforming statewide and national trends and showing minor year-over-year growth in a way that is not true for most destinations right now in this current economy. And then I was able to break out the Cascade Locks PLT receipts to show you that receipts in our jurisdiction have rebounded and increased following those pandemic related travel disruptions. And so we're doing great. Yeah. I have a couple industry reminders built in here for anyone in the industry for us to keep sharing this information with our lodging operators and our local businesses. So the annual lodging listing updates for Orla are due November 21st. So this is a free basic listing in the Travel Oregon Visitor Guide. So if you want to be in that print magazine, all you have to do is log into Orla's website and make sure that your listing is up to date. But it does require you to log in every year to participate, and this is available for both the Airbnbs and the hotels and the campgrounds, anything that pays TLT to the state. Qualifies for these free listings. So helping our businesses get the information about that is, it's annual reminder to check that out. Another cool thing that I really, really love is that our local businesses can use local, which is the easiest way to keep your business listings up to date across all of the different search databases. So visitor facing businesses in Oregon can get this for free through Travel Oregon, and this is a link in the digital copy of this. But you go in and you log on to this thing and you update it once and it goes to Google Maps and it goes to Apple Maps and it goes to like 60 other databases if you click off into that. And it's back in the forefront because they just added more AI support options for it. So Autopilot is the new AI support feature for keeping those listings up to date, which is huge. The less fun industry reminder road work. ODOT has got us pretty well blocked in right now. The historic highway is closed for repairs on our side of Multnomah Falls, which is affecting the visitor experience a lot. Last year it was kind of cool because they were like, oh yeah, I can just go right in from Cascade Lots and no one else is there because they had to go all the way around. This year they are blocked out, so. Just a reminder, anyone traveling to Multnomah Falls, we recommend visiting via that exit 31 lot right now. And then I-84, in addition to this closure, that you cannot go around, you also have to have the intermittent single lane closures for the construction of the McCord Creek Bridge, which the city should be deeply familiar with. And then I drafted this last page of this before I was officially blessed to start talking about negotiations for renewing the contract. So these are a much lighter version of recommendations that I made in the previous conversation. I will probably update this before sending it to the city. But I think the important message in this for city council is that investing in tourism is investing in the city because 70% of TLT goes to their general fund and they should be like way more interested in and supportive of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my report for the quarter, so.
It's awesome.
Well, that's all beautiful.
Really nice report.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a shame about all the.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, now we are on to committee member reports. Starting with myself. I will just report that the Big Band Jazz concert happened on Saturday. I thought it was really great. But sad that none of you were there. Guilt, but it was a good turnout. I got the head count today from the organization and they sold 68 tickets. A difference this year compared to last year is they actually have swing dancers come in, and so there was like kind of dance floor area where people that just, I assume it's people that like take lessons and they just come from, it sounds like there's a club or something in White Salmon and maybe Portland, so there was like quite a few couples that came and were like dancing, and the mayor was there and had city council representation, so I thought that was nice. It's always nice to see them show up for stuff like that, so yeah, it was a great concert. I thought it went well and hopefully they'll come back next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was working.
That's all I thought was sweet, the report. Sarah?
Who's got the score for us?
Lost.
We let's see, what do I got? Jeez, Christ. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but I'm sure it'll come to me.
After you leave.
Yeah, yeah. I just was always hoping, that we can get more events, we wrapped our brains about winter events and fall events, and what I would like to bring us like a fall festival.
And at one time, we did have, I don't know, I think Don and Kevin Benson put it on. Do you remember when they did that, like that soapbox derby?
Oh, yeah.
They did a little soapbox derby up, in between Port 3 and the port office where you go down the hill, and it was pretty fun, but just to try to bring something back again, you know, and I'm not gonna give up on the Rock and Jim show. I've been,
I think it would be a great event, actually.
yeah, the Rock and Jim show was really
Yeah.
awesome.
I miss it.
I'm not gonna quit on that one yet, even though I was kind of discouraged
Well, we
about it.
put on anything for the winter, so it's all about.
Especially something like that, that would
Everybody-
be like a great winter activity.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and I'm hoping, you know, I know they're doing the bazaars this year, I hope that maybe we can initiate more on that, because that did bring out a pretty good turnout, because we do have, last year we had the school, we had, Gorgeous, and then the Ale House, and
December 6th, that's the,
Yeah.
yeah.
so I'm hoping that maybe Whiskey Flat, since they renovated, they have so much room in there, I was already eyeballing it, you know, cause they got a lot of
Did
room
Thunder
there.
Island do one last year? They did one the year before.
They
In
do
the
it a
tent.
different day, they do
Yeah,
that
they
like the
did it
Wednesday
that
before
day.
Christmas or
Or
something.
something,
like
okay,
that.
yeah.
I haven't heard if they're doing it this year, but.
Yeah, but Whiskey Flats is really tearing up their place and making their stuff back, and they said that they would more welcome their space if we wanted to do any events or anything like that, so. But yeah, events, we're on that.
Does the Stern Wheeler do Christmas cruises or are they taking
They
the boat
did,
away?
at least sweater contest last year, that was kind of fun.
I think it's going to.
It's going
Is
to
it going away from the winter?
Oh,
After
it
the
is.
snafu.
With the
Oh,
wind,
yeah,
I
that
can
makes
understand,
sense.
yeah. Okay, I was just wondering, cause
I don't know what their last day is, so.
somebody in town asked me. They said, is the Stern Wheeler do anything for Christmas? And I said, I don't know.
I heard they will be docked by OMSI this year,
Okay,
and that they're planning to do something with the Christmas parade in downtown Portland.
I was gonna, that, once I said that, I'm going, wait a minute, I remember somebody saying. Wasn't the Stern Wheeler in the parade of Christmas boats? And that goes all through the different river systems in Portland, it's like a 2-week long. Evening event, like it goes everywhere, so.
Anything else, Sarah?
Nope, I was thinking, you know, fireworks on New Year's Eve. Everybody's always trying to draw people
Or light
to
up
their
Thunder Island.
establishments, you know? So I
love
think
it.
that something like that would be fun for people to come into town and stay, they would stay because we are known for our fireworks display.
On 4th of July,
Yeah. And if
absolutely.
we could pull even a half-ass show of what they do for 4th of July, I think we could really pull into people too.
That's a good idea.
That's all I got.
You say you're gonna look into that or what? Are you just telling us? all?
No, I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna talk to
Okay.
her high end. See what I can do. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I always believe 4th of July should be on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and I'm always gone on the 4th of July, so I would actually be around to see that fireworks show, so get on my vote. All right, Nathan.
Yeah, nothing for the group this time around.
Okay, Miranda's not here. Norm?
You know what they do back east? They flood baseball fields. They let them freeze and that's where you skate.
That's a fun fact, Norm.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun, oh, that'd be
They
awesome.
have music, they have the whole thing. It's a community deal, you know?
There's the little field by the airport.
There is a.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we should have more stuff on the waterfront too, you know,
Definitely.
Stevenson does a lot of stuff, I've been saying that too, to bring, you know, I mean, we do have local musicians.
Can you imagine the Bridge of the Gods lit up with lights?
Oh my God, I'm so excited about that,
Talk
Charles
to
Ford,
Jeremiah.
no, PO for, for the 100th anniversary,
yeah.
Pacific Power has volunteered to light up the Bridge of the Gods. They're gonna light, they're gonna put all the
Beautiful.
lights. And they were saying, well, I don't
Beautiful.
know about money, and they said, no, we got this. So we
Nice.
will be having the Bridge of Gods lit up.
Is that for like the month?
No, it's gonna be a permanent deal.
Oh,
Oh,
I believe it is, yeah, yeah.
wow.
They always said that they thought it should be lit up, which I
would be
agree.
like the color changing one?
Oh, that would be.
Like the tax bridge in Portland, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll just have music blasting off there, Christmas time.
You
know what I mean?
I know,
Christmas.
yes, all about
Yeah.
Christmas.
Hang a giant wreath from the side of the bridge.
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
I still want the big
They
flying
used to do
things
that
back.
long time ago.
I miss them.
Anything else, Mark?
That's it, I wanna flood a baseball field.
Okay.
Do that.
Sally?
We need a ferry,
Like what kind of ferry?
a car ferry, a walk-on ferry.
Oh, yeah.
Go from
Oh,
Park
yeah.
to Stevenson.
I agree.
And then all those people that get off the boat over there, they can come over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned it to Jeremiah the other morning when he was having breakfast and he went, ha ha, can you imagine what that would cost? I'm going, well, you know, they've got one in Canby, they've got
Yes.
one in, you know, what a fun thing it would be.
Be amazing.
To have, you know, just to go from our port to Stevenson and back and be able to share that.
Bridge
with
of the
them.
Gods.
Yeah, I mean. You know, so,
So it bring down the traffic, I'm saying too.
yeah, I mean, if you could put like 6 cars and then a pedestrian area,
Yeah.
Even just a pedestrian ferry would.
just a pedestrian ferry would be awesome.
Very.
And, I mean, and it would be good for emergencies.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ferry is always being talked about at our house.
I mean, I know some canoes, but.
Yeah,
I don't
that's, you know, yeah. Anyway,
Okay, well, let's see, and Heidi's not here, so. That is all for committee member reports, next meeting. Date and time.
So your regularly scheduled meeting would be November 3rd at 6 p.m. Does that work for you all?
November.
And we're gonna have 3 weeks in a row. in that order.
Oh, yeah, that's right, we have.
Yes, that's fine.
October, November. Oh, gotcha, yeah, 1, 2.
I remember.
And November 3rd works
Yeah,
for
okay.
me at 6.
Yeah.
Okay,
At 6?
yeah, that's normal time, I just.
That's that Red Cross training for emergencies.
Are you planning to go to that?
No, I had it in my calendar, because I was thinking about it, but it's for the city.
Yeah, okay, I saw that.
Yeah.
Anyone
Oh, yeah,
planning
that's
to
at
go to
Thunder
that?
Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anyone planning to go to that? Okay,
for, they can open up the school, because they finally have gotten the generator in there, so if we have a citywide. If we have a storm of the century. We. We. Or
the entire power goes out in the whole.
the whole city, or it gets snowed in and people need a place to go and. Or
I
like,
wanna be
how
close to
did the,
Thunder Island and, the Pavilion warming stations, how did they? Did a lot
How
of
did
people
they
show
do
up for those?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never heard anything about it.
All right, so we can adjourn the meeting at 8:27.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Second.
yeah,
Oh,
I can, oops, I'm not. Okay.
aye.
Bye.
and it will be at 6 or 6:30. 6, okay.
Yeah, they're normally at 6, I just